Cincinnati City Council member Tamaya Dennard is arrested by the FBI and charged with selling her vote on council.
The federal charges filed against her include wire fraud, bribery, and attempted extortion. Dennard made an initial appearance in federal court this afternoon. Court papers show the feds were tipped off by a concerned citizen after Dennard allegedly asked that person for cash in exchange for voting in favor of a land swap deal involving the music venue at the Banks. $15,000 then turned up in Dennard's account.
A lot of questions surrounding this investigation. So Local 12's Anjanette Levy is here now with local defense attorney Bill Gallagher to talk about some of the claims that Dennard is making. Anjanette?
Yeah, Kyle and Paula, Bill is not associated with this case at all. That's why we asked you to come in, and thanks so much for doing that and looking at the complaint for us. These are pretty serious charges.
Absolutely. I think anytime you have a politician or a local official that's accused of taking money in exchange for votes, that's obviously very troubling.
Let's put a few of these quotes up on the screen that came directly from the complaint. It's kind of sad because she was saying she had some financial problems, and then this person, the confidential human source, said they wouldn't participate in this. It was inappropriate, but then they contacted the FBI. And the first quote is from September 6th, and Tamaya was saying, or the confidential human source said, "Do you think, can we count on your support with what we're talking about here?" Dennard says, "Sure, yeah." The confidential human source says, "Yeah, we're good on that." And Dennard says, "Yeah, okay." And then the next day, the confidential human source says, "So I'll give you $10,000 now." Dennard says, yes. The confidential human source then says, "And you're good with supporting Hilltop's proposal to do the land swap?" Dennard says, yes. And then the conversation continues with the source saying, "When it comes before council, we're cool, awesome." And Dennard says, That source then again says, and then I think as things go through, if probably the most important vote will be the first vote, and then there's probably going to be a second vote, and if you can hold on, I can give you the $5,000 after the second vote if that's good with you. Dennard says, yeah, that's fine. And these are all from recorded conversations. These are not text messages.
Right.
So.
Right.
That sounds pretty damning.
It does, but what you're losing is a little bit of context, I think. That's the problem with complaints versus trials, is we don't have all the evidence and all the context in which these statements were made. The initial first conversation was supposed to be about needing money to help Councilwoman Dennard out with her financial situation. In the first introduction, according to these documents, of anything about a vote, anything about a land swap or council is from the confidential source, that human source that they're quoting in there. But we don't know all the other context, and we don't hear the tone that's used by Ms. Dennard, and that's what a trial's for, and we'll see all that flushed out.
But it does sound, even if it didn't start like that, it seemed to certainly evolve into that, according to these quotes.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. This is clearly, though, some conclusions that are drafted by the FBI agent in this case. It is only meant to establish probable cause, not guilt. But it does paint a bad picture, and it's obviously going to cause some concern for Ms. Dennard and her counsel.
Do you expect more charges at the grand jury?
It's very possible. I think that based on these allegations, you could see these charges divvied up. You could see them a little bit more individualized. And if there's an investigation, there could be other people. And if the government thinks there is, then they'll bring those charges when they indict her.
Yeah, this certainly is not the last we've heard of this. Thank you so much, Bill, for coming in, and we're going to send it right back over to Paula and Kyle.